Hello guys, welcome to today's early English class. Looking at the second English vowel today. Now remember the rules, be attentive for the class and gain from this class. This second English vowel. Looking at the sound, its rules, its examples and then the past questions. So join me through this class. The second English vowel E. The vowel E is produced as E, and then that is actually a guide on how you are to produce this vowel. So whenever I see this phonetic symbol, I am to produce this word E, and the absence of a colon dictates that a short vowel, and therefore we are expected not to prolong its production. So we can rightfully say the second English vowel E, the short E sound. E, the short E sound. Moving on, we have different spelling forms here. The second English vowel appears in different ways. You'll be asking yourself, what are the instances where we can have the second English vowel? Then you've got your answer here. The first spelling form, A. Now there are words in English that has A and has the E sound here. Now most words ending with AGE have the short E sound. Wow. Let's have examples of those words. We have savage. Savage, remember the rules. Most words ending with AGE, not all the words, but most, where the greater number of words ending with AGE has the E sound, we have our A. Okay, so we have first the savage. So our savage, we have these. And have our E sound here. Do not forget, transcription helps to give you verified answers. Therefore, you are to be attentive and follow up so that you can get it. Okay? Next we have rabbit. My rabbit, just as my savage, is transcribed as this. Rabbit. Next up we have luggage. Now this is my luggage. Do not forget, your transcription counts with your word pronunciation. Pronounced as transcribed as pronounced. Only what is heard should be word transcribed. Next we have our void. Now my void, we have void, full stop, and then it. Void. Next up we have voltage, still on the A as a spelling form. We have voltage. Now for our voltage, we have vol and then teach. Voltage. Next up we have message. Transcribed as this. Message. Teenage. Teenage is transcribed as this. Teenage. I have my E sound here. Next up we have our lineage. My lineage is transcribed as this. Only what is heard. My lineage is transcribed as this. Lineage. Okay, I have a double E sound here. E and E. Lineage. Quickly looking at the next example under my A, we have mortgage. Now I want you to take note of this mortgage. It's a regular Jamb word. Jamb has picked interest in this word mortgage, so take note of it. Know its transcription and its pronunciation. So my mortgage, not mortgage. Note this, mortgage. My mortgage, I have mortgage. Quickly, the next example we have orange. So okay, it's not orange, it's orange. Take note of its pronunciation, because if I keep saying orange instead of orange, when I'm to see a question pertaining to orange, or answer it as though it's orange. Do not forget, constant practice brings about perfection. So master this word. Use these words in your daily activities and make them part of you in order for you to get used to this pronunciation and also transcription. So my orange, I have just as it is transcribed. I have this. Orange, pronounced as transcribed as pronounced. Moving on quickly to the next example, we have this. We have E as the next spelling form. That would say there are words that have letter E in them and have the E sound here. Now we have the first rule under our E. It says words ending with TED or DED in its past form, that's past tense, has the E sound. Wow. So if I have a word whose past tense or past forms ends with word TED or DED or have one, the E sound there. Okay? Let's get examples under this to understand better. Okay, we have the first one, that's anointed. Now, anointed is transcribed as this, just as it is pronounced. Anointed. Now, transcribed as this. Anointed. Anointed. I have my E sound here. Now, if you're wondering what this is, now that is not the E sound. That is a diphthong called oi. A diphthong or not a monophthong. Okay, quickly, next up we have demanded. Demanded. So I'm not saying demanded, but what demanded. Take note of that sound. Demanded. Now my demanded, I have this as a transcription. Demanded. 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 I want to be convinced that you're following this class. Next up we have congratulated. Congratulated, transcribed as it is pronounced. I have the congratulated. Congratulated actually, but it does it. Okay, for my congratulated, I have these congratulated. My E sound is detected here. Now for this, that's not the E sound. That is actually a diphthong called A. Congratulated, lay, A. Okay. Next example, we have excited. Excited, transcribed as this. Excited. Actually, have double E sound there. We have the first E sound here, E, and then tit. Excited. Now this is a diphthong called I. Okay. So how about excited to be that? Next up quickly, we have intended. Intended. Now my intended is transcribed as this, just as it is pronounced. And not forget that. Now we have intended to be this. Intended having double E sound. This is this. Next up we have suggested. Now my suggested is transcribed as this. Suggested. Okay, next I have limited. Now my limited is transcribed as this. Limited having a triple E sound. Limited, not limited. Limited. Next I have commanded. Now my commanded is transcribed as this. Commanded. Now if you have been following my subsequent classes, I said there's no C in the 24 consonant. So whenever I have C produced as or have what? K, right? Okay. Next example, we have assisted. Now my assisted is transcribed as this. Assisted, giving me a double E sound. Assisted. Next I have sent it. Now my sent it is transcribed as this, just as it is pronounced. Do not forget the rule. Whatever is not pronounced should not be transcribed. Therefore, in transcribing my sent it, since my C is not pronounced, my C will not be what transcribed. Now my sent it is transcribed as this. Sent it, not sent it. Next up quickly, we have the next example as decided. Now my decided is transcribed as this. Decided, having a double E sound, and this is what a diphthong. I. Okay, next up we have expected. Now my expected is transcribed as this. expected. Now that's my expected. Do not forget there is no C, and also there is no X. If you've noticed that I transcribed my cited and expected, there's no word X in the 24 consonants here. Now if we have X, it's either having D or a K. Now we'll talk about that when we get to our consonants. So follow up. Next up, we have the next example as integrated. Integrated. Now my integrated, just as it is pronounced, is transcribed as this. Integrated. 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 Next I have my descended. Now this is a mistake. We have our line here. Descended. Now my descended is transcribed as this. Descended, having our E sound here. Descended. Okay, next we have depended. Now just as we transcribed our descended, we transcribed our depended. Now remember, only what is heard should be transcribed. Now my depended is transcribed as this. Depended, having my E sound in here. Next up quickly we have a desolated. Now my desolated is transcribed as this. Desolated. Next up we have deserted. Now my deserted is transcribed as this. Deserted. Now you may be wondering why I have a Z instead of my S. Good. Now I didn't say deserted. I said what? Deserted. Now that's what a Z sound there rather than what an sound. Note that your letters do not matter. Only what is heard matters. Remember, oral English, spoken English. Okay? Moving on to the next example, we have our cheated. Now my cheated is transcribed as this. Cheated. Next we have the next one, spelling form, still on our E. Now we have another rule. It says words ending with KET and KED in their base form has what? The E sound. That's to say, even if my word is to end with KET or KED, but then it is not in its base form, it will not have the word the E sound. The rule must always be kept. We're looking at KET, KED, and then base form. Very important. Now look at words that have KED, but then they're not in their base form, and words with KED that are in the base form, to see the difference. Now we have one example here as word marked, and then we have naked. Now these two words, let's compare these two words. Now marked ends with word KED and same as word naked, but then is our marked in its past form, in its base form, or in its present form? Now how about naked? Is naked in its past form or in its base form? Now this is it. My marked ends with word KED, but it is not in its base form, but rather its past form. But my naked ends with word KED, but that isn't its word base form. Let's compare the two. Now this is word marked, transcribed as this. Marked. Well, this is word naked, transcribed as this. We can evidently see that our marked that ends with KED in its past form doesn't have the E sound, but our naked has word KED and in its past form and in its base form has the word E sound. I'll take it again. Marked ends with KED, but then it is word in its past form. We have past form. And because of that, it doesn't have the word the E sound, but our naked ends with word KED and in its base form. Therefore, my naked has the word the E sound. Now, example of words that have KET and KED and in their base form has the E sound are these. We have wicked. My wicked is transcribed as this. Wicked. We have our E sound here. Wicked. Let's have our rocket. My rocket is transcribed as this. Rocket. Next up we have our market. Market is transcribed as this. Do not forget the rule. They are all in their base form and therefore they have the word the E sound. Next example we have our basket. Now basket is transcribed as this. Basket. Basket. Only what is here should be transcribed. Basket. Basket. Next example we have packet. Packet. A packet of biscuits. Now my packet is transcribed as this. Packet. 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 Next we have our cricket. Cricket. My cricket is transcribed as this. Cricket. The E sound is found here. Next example we have our naked. Naked. Naked is transcribed as this. Naked. Naked, having our E sound here. We have our jacket. Our jacket is transcribed as this. Jacket. Jacket. Next we have our racket. My racket is transcribed as this. Racket. Racket.